Time check for you. It's 11 minutes past 8. Sorry about that. I'm having a bit of a problem with all the buttons this morning. We've got some guests in now, Doug, and they're from the Eastern Football League Women's section.
That's correct, and they're two lovely young ladies. We've got Cassandra on your right, and we've got G here on your left. So good morning, ladies.
Good morning, guys.
Welcome to you, and let's know about what's happening in Bayswater. Has the competition just started, or...?
No, so the competition's been running for a long time. Initially we started in the VWFL, but that disbanded in, I believe, 2017, and that's when BaySie won their first premiership, which was fantastic when we joined the EFL. BaySie Women's have been running things since 2013, and it's a fantastic place to be. I'm really enjoying it.
Girls, what impact has the AFL done now with the women's competition in relation to the local competitions?
It's booming. It's bloody booming. It's
really?
Awesome.
That's fantastic, isn't it?
Yeah, it's great.
So you're getting more recruits, etc. now?
Yeah. I think the league, EFL's more than doubled, since last year. It's been ridiculous.
That is absolutely fantastic.
There's roughly 34 teams in the whole EFL. That's 5 divisions, and Bayswater are lucky to be in the Premier League. But that's 5 divisions in the EFL, around 34 teams.
Gee, if you have somebody that really is impressive, do they then go to be recommended to AFL clubs, or are they scouted? What's the situation there?
They get scouted. A couple of our girls, actually, last year, they have been scouted and they were training with a couple of the VFL teams. So there is that opportunity to get scouted by those AFL teams, those VFL teams, and then get a look in of those clubs. And it's been really great for them to bring back their knowledge back into the kind of the grassroots of the whole area, because they've brought so many drills and things like running.
Right.
It's awesome.
And of course, with the expansion too of the AFL Women's, it gives more opportunity for you guys to play in the AFLW competition.
Definitely, the girls we see coming up. Maybe we're getting a bit old now, but
really,
but definitely the girls. There are girls in our team that are 16, 17, and then there are girls in the junior BaySie Footy Club, and they're the next AFL Women's.
In your competition, how many women's clubs are involved?
There are 34 in the EFL.
Wow.
So it's just increasing every time. I remember when I started, I think there was almost 34 teams around the state. I probably started 5 or 6 years ago, and it's just boomed. In every area you look at, the numbers are just increasing, and it's fantastic. I'm actually a little bit jealous that I'm not 10 years younger.
A bit younger, I'm the same.
Right.
Just missed out.
Just a few years too old.
And what position do you play?
So I'm a bit of a funny one. I can either play full forward, and we're having a bit of a height crisis in our team right now, so I'm also in the ruck, which is funny because I'm 5'6".
And what would be, say, the taller women playing in the ruck? What heights would they be?
So one of the girls I played on Saturday, she would have been pushing 6 foot.
Really?
So there's a big height difference, but I'm lucky I've got a bit of bulk about me, so I kind of throw my weight around.
Use your body weight to your advantage.
Definitely.
Except I think I'm on ruck today.
Cassandra, you're in the ruck today. Who are you playing today?
Donvale, 1 o'clock, Donvale's ground. Come support Bayswater.
Excellent.
Green and gold.
And how are you progressing so far this season?
I think we're doing pretty well. We've got a lot of new girls in, and each individual parts are really good. It's just we're looking to get that little bit of momentum and looking to join that little bit better. But I think we've got a really positive outlook for the season.
And do you have professional coaches in the competition?
Yes and no. Our coach he's pretty cool. He's pretty funny. And the coaching standard is slowly growing and becoming more professional. And I think in the coming years it's going to just tell how much more visible it is to be a coach and how much more training they're going to have.
And it will be identified on the footy field, I would imagine.
Yeah, with skills and things. You can even tell last season, unfortunately, I couldn't play. I was injured. But even looking from last season to this season, the improvements of skill and the improvements of knowledge and plays and structures has just been amazing.
Oh, that's amazing.
And you normally play afternoon games, or is there a mixture of
Rangers?
Rangers. So today we're at 1, and last week we were at 4:45. We had a beautiful twilight match, which can be fun in the sun. You're trying to mark a ball, your eyes are closed.
So you'd be playing after the men's finishes, so to speak.
Yeah, and it was fantastic because a lot of the men actually last week, because it was at our home ground, a lot of the men stayed and supported us, and that's a really fantastic kind of new thing that's happening. I think in a lot of women's sport is it's getting that more of a male following, getting that more of a male input, which is just going to help any sport grow.
Of course,
that's fantastic, really, isn't it?
You obviously like the roar of the crowd from your home team.
Yes, nice.
So how far would you travel in the district to?
Well, half an hour maybe.
Yeah.
I think with the relocation of the EFL from the WV, like we could have travelled. I know when I played in the WVFL, we were going to Bendigo and this because it was all in Victoria.
Right.
But now it's grown so much.
Yes.
You're actually a lot closer to home. So
I think maybe Hillsville. Do we travel out there?
Maybe. But
EFL goes that far, but I don't know if we will have to.
Yeah.
But,
right. Okay. Well, that's good, and all the grounds are pretty good, of course. But
it's been such a dry summer, autumn. The ground should be in top
Not
condition.
so much today.
So I think we're going to get a bit wet today, but hey, it's a bit of fun.
Playing at home?
No, we're at Donvale.
Donvale, yes.
Okay, well, that's good. And how many do you have in the squad? How many players do you have in the squad?
30,
about
30 something.
Yeah.
But you need that many because of the injuries, and you have a couple mums in there, and that's the worst thing about women's sport is becoming a mum because you need to take all that time off. But it's about 30, and I think it's still growing. Like we get some people down. I think we had a new girl down on Thursday night, and
how do you go about recruiting new players?
We're pretty lucky. We don't actually have to go and recruit right now, which is fantastic. People are just really interested in joining the sport, so they come and find us, which is absolutely amazing because you don't have to go and find fill-ins every week, which we used to have to do. You can just look at your list.
Do you look at Form 12 girls to come and join you, or?
Yeah, so we are linking in with our junior program. So we had a couple of the juniors train, and like Cass, she trained with the juniors on Thursday night.
Yeah, it was great. Yeah, so it's so good to see the young women coming up. I'm just like,
now could you keep up with them?
Oh, yeah.
Cass could. I couldn't.
Oh, right. Well, that's good. And what else is news at your club? You obviously would have some social functions that you would have, and you just have that separately by yourself, or you combine with the men's club?
No, we're with the men's. We had one a couple of weeks ago that was an emoji party, which was fantastic. We were with the men's, and then I think the next one coming up, we've got Bayswater's Got Talent.
Oh yeah, it's
so
like
that's
a karaoke night.
It's going to be in my element, guys.
Yeah. We're got a bit of competition on that one. We're both singers.
No, is it a singing competition?
It'll be like a karaoke kind of deal. So
Good.
Yeah.
Good. And then the umpires and that you have are pretty good for you, and
I think that's a massive improvement as well. Like we used to get the umpires that were brand new, and I think now there's that little bit more respect for the women's game that they're actually putting the more qualified umpires on the Premier League.
So is Eastern? Where do the umpires come from?
I think it's the EFL.
EFL, yeah. Oh, that's fantastic because, unfortunately when you're umpiring, you've got to start somewhere.
Yeah.
But it is also important that you have experience together with perhaps a newer umpire.
Yeah.
So that they in turn also become better umpires as well as players do.
Yeah, 100%. And I think that they've done this really well. They're not just starting teams off in lower divisions, they're starting umpires off in lower divisions. So there's an expectation of everyone gets higher and higher that they can meet that expectation. Like we had a couple of really good umpires on the weekend, and they knew when to let things go. They knew when to kind of become a bit harder, and it was really fantastic. Yeah,
no, that's great. Now tell me, not being sexist in this comment, but do the ladies at sometimes react the same as men when they feel a decision's not gone correctly?
I think it's all equal. You find that everything's exactly the same. Like girls are just as rough on the field, come out with just as many injuries. Sometimes we're a little. I even think at times we can be a little bit more fearless. Like me particularly, I've had a few concussions in my time. I think the biggest difference would probably be there's not as many biffos, not as many punch-ons, because don't want to break a nail, guys. I'm
joking.
Well, it wouldn't pay to have long hair because you could pull it.
Exactly. I'm lucky. I don't have that issue.
Have short hair. Yeah.
Well, that's really good. And any other news you'd like to talk about whilst you're here?
Oh,
Anything else happening?
No,
You'd
just
like to let everybody else know?
Come join
Yeah, come-
Basie footy.
get on the Basie train. Like,
I think Connor, that sounds good.
How do people contact you then if people want to?
through the Facebook page, or just Google Bayswater Women's Football Club, and there's a Facebook page. And even if you contact the men's, they'll come and they'll refer you on to the women, because we have a really good.
Okay.
Our manager, she's pretty amazing, Lisa. She's pretty up there. But yeah, just if you Google us or contact us on Facebook, head over there.
Well, maybe wish you well, and thank you for coming.
Thank you for coming in, ladies. It's been fantastic.
So all right.
We may have gained a little bit about the ladies' football and their integrity and how they tackle each other, and obviously they're as competitive as the men, if not a little more.
Yes.
So I'd hate to be an umpire.
Thank you very much for having us, guys.
Thank you kindly.
Maybe wish you well for the rest of the season, and thank you once again for coming in and sharing your story with us.
Thank you for having us.
Thanks.